Hello team, today's challenge is anagram groups where we're given a list of words and we need to group them according to whether they're anagrams or not. So in this case, listen and silent, they have the same letters. The order is different, but they have the same letters. That makes them an anagram, along with enlist. Hello doesn't have anything inside of the string and world also doesn't. So they go into their own little groups by themselves, right? They're all alone. With this, for me, the quickest way to get this done is to sort these letters and then sort these letters and compare them. And that is something that I have done already. So way over here in this challenge, anagram checker, we had just two words and we needed to compare if they were there. For that, I created a helper function. It looked like this. And then I used that helper function to sort the letters, and see if they were equal. We can totally lean into that by grabbing this. I will explain it a little bit more over here. But right here, pasting that in, and we're ready to go. Now, to explain this really fast, we pass in a string. And for me, lowercase, we start by lowercase in it because lowercase and uppercase doesn't matter for me, right? And I want to be able to sort capital A's along with lowercase a's. I want those to be the same when we're talking about anagrams. So I lowercase it. Maybe you don't, right? Maybe you're in a locale where that is actually important. Let me know in the comments, right? The second step is replacing all the spaces. We do not have any spaces today, but in the previous challenge, we absolutely did. So we had to take care of those spaces because they will wreak havoc on whatever you're doing. You could delete this line. You could also change this line based on your parameters, right? Delete or change it. I'm going to leave it in because I like how solid this function is, right? It just works. And being able to use it in multiple places means that I get all that benefit, right? Like I can use it on that previous challenge as well as the current challenge. Great, okay? So I'm going to leave it in there, but if it really bugs you, delete it. Not a problem, okay? Then we split on everything, we sort it, and we join on everything. This is a pattern that we've seen plenty of times, right? Split and reverse and join. But in this case, we're split and sort and join. And for the sort, we don't pass any sort of function, right? There's no callback in here because sort by default is alphabetical. So at least in my locale, that's great. That's exactly where I need to be, okay? With all that done, we can use it. So right here, we're going to set up groups and make that words dot reduce, okay? That takes the accumulator and the current as always. I just never change those. I rarely change the name of these two arguments. It's just easier, right? We are going to create an object. And this one might feel a little bit weird, but hear me out. So what we're going to do is we will sort our word. Whatever our current word is, we're going to sort it. And that is going to become the key for our object, at which point the value will be an array with all those words that match that key, right? By doing it this way, it means that it works a little bit more fluidly, and I don't have to search the accumulator array to see if I have an array with those values already. Okay, so using a key like this simplifies my life. Definitely simplifies the code. Okay. The first part is word, which is not a great one. I want key instead. Okay. Because again, this is going to be our key. So we're going to sort letters just like this, sending in current, and we're going to make that the accumulator key. Okay. What's it going to be? Well, it's going to be an array, right? And we are going to spread in whatever the current accumulator key is and follow it with the current word. So if we already have that key, great, we add to it. If we don't have that key, then we create a new array with this value. And by create, I mean we need a little extra here because down here, this object is empty, okay? So another pattern that we've seen before is right here with nullish coalescing where we pass in an empty array. That empty array will spread along with the current, which means that we get an array with one value if it's the first time through for that key, okay? At this point, we always, always, always return the accumulator. Never forget, it'll get you, okay? And groups, we send down here. Now, it's not right, okay? We need a little bit more on this because we're getting an object here and we expect an array of arrays, a two-dimensional array. So what we want is the values. Object dot values, just like this, and now it's done, okay? Again, we have this object, which is a key with those values, and those values are the array. That's what we want. We want this, right? The array 1, array 2, array 3. And we do that just by peeling off those values. It returns to us as an array, right? Or as an array of arrays. So we're in good shape, right? At this point, it's done and it works great. Now, if you are on newer JavaScript, there is a way to simplify this, okay? So we can take this and comment it away. And down here, we have access to something called group by, okay? So const groups equals capital O object dot group by. This takes two arguments. The first one is not a string. It is the array of things that you want to group, okay? And then the second one is a callback, a function on how you want to group this. And this function returns the keyword. That's the important part, okay? So whatever this function is being passed to group by, it returns a keyword that becomes the sorting key. Kind of like how we did it here, where we created a key and created a sorting key. In fact, we can do exactly that. We do not need to pass in something like this, right? We have that function and we do the work. We don't need to do that because we already have it. It is sort letters, okay? Notice that we do not add these parentheses. We do not want those, okay? We just pass in the function and let it do its thing, okay? At which point it works. And it works as a one-liner, which is brilliant, right? Basically what this function is doing, group by, is it is creating, well, everything inside of this reduce, right? We're creating that object. The keys are becoming whatever the sort letter keys are, right? So everything is just working magically behind the scenes and it gets a job done. We still need object values because it's returning an object, right? But it's really easy, right? and hopefully that makes sense. So to quickly review, we brought in and brought forward a function that we used before. I love doing this, especially these helper functions. They are universal, right? So why not leverage them every single time? If you can just copy and paste it and save yourself some time, brilliant. Get it done, okay? From there, we tried a bit of a loop using reduce, where we constructed an object. And by creating an object instead of an array of arrays right from the gate, right from the beginning, we save ourselves some work, right? We don't have to search into the array and find the right array to add to and do that stuff. We just do it. We get it done, okay? And then we simplified it using object.groupby. Again, it's still kind of new. So if you have to support old browsers, you might have to do it this way, okay? And that's it. Again, not every solution, just hopefully one decent solution, right? And in this case, two variations on that. So tell me which one you like, or if you like them at all, right? Like, hate. Let me know all that stuff along with how you solved it. Otherwise, yeah, I'm losing my train of thought here. But this has been Anagram Groups, and I will see you tomorrow.